Hi, I'm Vicky. Welcome to my channel and thanks for joining me today to make these wonderful fanfare earrings. These are a very elegant pair of earrings in a pretty little fan shape. That is a 8mm cabochon that is surrounded by a peyote bezel and then embellished with some crystals and some round beads before adding on these stunning connector bars and finally a pretty little ear wire. Now, the inspiration for these earrings came from the Beading School Academy box, which is currently Aurora Borealis. And the box is beautiful. It's full of winter colours, so gorgeous, so pretty. Comes with lots of purples and golds, greys, silvers, iridescent whites, pearlescent whites. There's just so many nice colours in that box. I'll leave a link below if you want to have a check it out. So let's talk about what we need. Okay, so to make the fanfare earrings, we're going to need 8mm Preciosa Nacre cabochon. Now, I have also trialed the earrings with 8mm chaton, and they work really well with the chaton. So if you don't have any of the cabochons in your stash, or you can't get hold of them, it does work really well with a chaton as well. We have some size 11 delica beads, some size 15 seed beads, some 3mm round beads, a 3mm bicone, a 4mm bicone, and then, as I said here, you need the connectors. But since I've used these and they were from the box, I've decided to use just another one that was also included in the box, just for the demonstration purposes of the video. I've also included these really pretty little Art Deco ear wires. Now, they didn't come in the box this time round. They have been in a previous one, and I'm really sure that Beading School still have them on their website, so you could go and have a little mooch around and see what you fancy. But there are some in the box that are also really pretty. There's little snowflake ones that would go really nice, but I felt for this design that these just really accentuated the fan shape. So I'm also using a £6 file line and a size 12 long John James beading needle. The size 12s are usually my go-to. I find that I don't have any problems really getting through multiple passes of smaller beads, so I do tend to always reach for a size 12. If you feel like you need to use a size 10, that's okay. Just be aware as you're going on with the design that you may start to struggle a little bit and you may need to size to a thinner one. Okay then, should we get started? So as I was saying, the earrings they're made up of this peyote bezel, which is then surrounded in a right angle weave embellishment before then adding on this connector bar. The earrings will have a little bit of a curve to them, so don't be alarmed if they start to look like they're bending out of shape. They're not really meant to sit flat. They do sit quite domed to a minimal extent, I'd say. Okay then, let's pop them to one side. So we're going to start by picking up 22 delica beads. Okay, so I have 22 delica beads on my thread. I'm going to take them all the way down to the bottom of my thread. I would always say it's best to check how many beads you've got, so that you're just aware that you've got the right amount, because you don't want to have an odd number, as that won't work for a bezel, a peyote bezel. Okay, so when you've got the amount of beads you need, now you may like to knot your bezels as I do. I do not put little knots in my bezels, but you could also just go all the way through all the beads again to create the ring. But for me, I do a double overhand knot. So I just take one, twist it. Oh, the thread's got a life of its own. Take two, and then, as you can see, just pull the knot, pull the knot, pull the knot. Let's move that away from there. and then just give it a quick little yank to pull together. Try to avoid getting caught around your beads. We're now going to take our needle through about 3 of our delicas, just to take the away from the knot really. Okay, so now we've got this little ring. This is our base row, and we're going to start building the peyote bezel up now. So pick up 1 delica. Coming out of this delica, we're going to miss the next one along and go through the one after. This will then cause the new delica to sit on top of the one that you've missed. So let's bring that up a little bit so you can see it there. Okay, we're going to pick up 1 more, miss the next delica along and go through the one after. Again, that one will sit in the gap where you've missed. Continue doing that all the way around, just picking up one, miss the next one along and go through the one after, until you get back to the first delica you started from. Okay, and we're just about to add in my last delica. So coming out of this one, I'm going to miss that one and go into the very first delica that we started from and pull them tight. Okay, you should have 3 rows of delicas now: the bottom row, the middle row and the top row. Now when I always refer to these, I always refer to them as the inside, the middle and the outside row. It just helps me when I think of where I need to go later on in the design. So now we're going to step into a delica on the inside row, the first row, whatever you wish to call it. There we go. We're now going to pick up a size 15 and we're going to go into the next delica on this inside row. So just go straight into the next one along on the inside row. Okay, there we go. And then we're just going to do that again. And it's just filling in these little gaps between the beads on this row. Continue all the way around, adding in your 15-ohs. And when we get to our last one, we're just going to pick up a 15-oh and go into the delica that we started the round from. Pull him tight. There we go. Oh, he needs to pop in there. There we go. Now we're going to step into the first 15 that we added in the previous round. We're now going to add another row of 15s by picking up 1 15, going into the next 15 along on the row we've just done. Pick up another, go into the next one. Continue adding 15s all the way around. They should start to give you a little cup shape. Little catch. Always best to check your thread as you're going so that you don't catch around any of your beads. We've all done it where we've been there and it's caught, and we only find out as we carry on, and we're quite far away normally, or nearly the end, as I was the other day. Okay, just carrying around, popping in these 15s. I'm just about to put my last one in, so I'm gonna pick up my 15-oh and just go into the first 15-oh that we started from. Okay, give him a little tug, make him all nice and tight. Right, so we're gonna pop over our now little cup shape, and we need to be coming out of one of these beads at the top, which is on the outside row as I'd call it. So we're gonna go through the delica, and then I normally go just straight into the one above it, and the thread just sits down the side. Okay, let's move that little tail thread out of the way. So we're now going to repeat our 2 rows of 15s on this side. So we'll start with the first row, and then we're going to pop in our peyote cabochon. So let's start putting the 15s in on this row. Pick up one, go into the next delicate along on the outside row, go another, repeat that. Oh, there we go, little thread round there. Pick up another one, just keep going all the way around. Okay, popping in the last little 15, and I'm just going to step up straight into the first 15 once I've gone through my delica, and then into the first 15. Okay, you can see we've got a little bezel coming along now there. I'm now going to just pop in my little cabochon. Now you can go upside down, or you can pop them in so you can see the top. It's still a little bit loose, as you can see, but when we pop on our next row, that'll tighten him right up. Okay, so we're going to put the next row of 15 on. Same way we did it on the other side. Pick up one 15 and go through the next 15 from the previous round. Pull in tight. You want to snug them little 15s up to each other. So pick up a 15, next 15, and pull tight. Continue adding 15s all the way around. And again, I'm just about to put my last 15 in, and that's just going to go into the 15 I started from, straight through there. And now pull them tight, and you've got a pretty little bezel. We're now going to take our needle through the delica on the top row and into one on the middle row. Just going to whip off that little tail thread. Okay, so coming out of this delica on the middle row, I'm going to start adding little arcs of 3 beads. So I'm going to pick up 3 15s, and I'm just going to go straight into this delica, the next delica along on the middle row. Because you're adding 3 beads in quite a small space, it will make them sit up into like a little arch. So let's do that again. Let's pick up 3 15s and go into the next delica along on the middle row. There we go. I'm going to continue doing that all the way around, I think for a total of 11. And my final 3 will go into the first delica that we started from. Oh, it's a little bit tight. Ooh. Thought I was going to lose the beads or the needle at that point. There we go. Sometimes if you're struggling to get your beads through, try not to really force them, because then you could obviously break a bead, you could break a delica. Delicas can be quite delicate. Sometimes I like to use just a pair of flat nose pliers, and I just like to take hold of the needle and just give it a little pull when I'm taking it through. But again, if you feel like it's not going to go, it's probably time to find a new route, essentially, unless you're there putting beads on like I was, and then you may need to size down to a smaller needle. Okay, so now we're going to step up through the first 2 15s of the first 3, and that's given us a really pretty little sun component. I always think it just looks so nice, and it could just be a little component on its own. You could add that just straight to a little ear wire, or it'd be nice as a mini component between bigger ones on a bracelet or a necklace. It's just a really nice little component. So our next step is we're going to pick up a 3mm pearl, and coming out of this middle 15, we're going to go into the next middle 15 now of the 3 15-0s along. Now we're not going to do that all the way around. Put a little knot in my tail, in my thread. Oh, there we go. We're not going to do that all the way around. We're just going to stop there for a minute. And now we're going to pick up one 15-0, one 3mm bicone, one 4mm bicone, one 3mm bicone, and one 15-0. So we have them on our needle. We're going to come around the pearl and back into the 15-0 we started from when we added the pearl. Pull them through. As you can see, they now sit above the little pearl, or round bead, druck, whichever one you're using. Now we're going to go back up the 15-0 that we've just added, the 3mm bicone, the 4mm bicone, the 3mm bicone, and into the 15-0. And we're now going to go into the middle 15-0 that we started when we added this little bit on. We started from, but from the other side. So essentially we're going forward through it. There we go. And that will cause the 15-0s to sit just on top of the two middle 15-0s of the 3s. We're now going to pick up another 3mm round bead and go into the next middle 15-0 along. Now that would be the only time we'd add the 5 beads at once. From now we're going to pick up a 15-0, a 3mm bicone, and a 4mm bicone. And we're going to go down the 3mm bicone from the previous round and into the 15-0. So the one's closest to this second pearl. Give them a little reach around. We're going to go through the middle 15-0 that's below there, and as before we're going to go back up the 15-0, back up the 3mm bicone, and then through the new 4mm bicone, the new 3mm bicone, and the new 15-0. Go back into the middle 15-0 of the set of 3 that we started from. It's catching on my mat, and just pull that. So as you can see, they're snugged up nicely. Now as we carry on doing the 3mm pearl and then the three beads, the 15-0, the 3mm and the 4mm, you will notice that they will start to curve because they're obviously quite tight and they may not fit the space to make it flat, but I wanted the little curve on it, so that's why I put this many beads on essentially. So picking up another 3mm round bead, go into the next middle 15 of the 3 15s, pick up a 15-0, 3mm bicone and a 4mm bicone, go down the 3mm bicone and the 15-0 from the previous round, into the middle 15-0 of the 3 15-0s, turn him, go up the 15-0, up the 3mm bicone, previous round, through the 4mm bicone, yeah that's it, 4mm bicone, into the 3mm bicone and into the size 15-0, and then back into the middle 15-0 of the 3. Okay, and that's what we're looking at now. So carry on adding your 3mm round bead and then your 3 beads for a total of 7 bicones on the bottom and 7 round beads. Right, I'm just adding in my last little pearl and my last set of 3 beads, the 15-0, 3mm bicone, the 4mm bicone. Just going to pop down there like we have done, go through the beads, through, down into that one, and then into the middle 15-0. Okay, so as you can see, we've got a little bit of a curve to our work now, and I think that looks so pretty when you see it. It's just a really, really nice curve. It just shows off all the beads rather than any beads getting lost behind other ones. So now we're going to come back up that 15-0 that we've just added through the 3mm bicone and into the 4mm bicone, like so. We're now going to add on a 3mm pearl between these two bicones. So simply coming out of the 4mm bicone and going into the next one. And we're just going to do that all the way along, adding 3mm pearls between the 3mm bicones. Now, one thing I will say is when you're working with crystals, like bicones, fire polished, sometimes even the pearls, be aware that they can be sharp, and that if you catch your thread on them the wrong way, it could snap your thread. So pulling your thread against it in any way is quite dangerous. So I'd say just take it easy as you're pulling through. Be very gentle. Just take your time. Okay, there we go. That's our last one going in. Our last 3mm pearl going in. I keep referring to them as round beads and then pearls. I guess same in some ways, but depends on what you're using. Okay, so from here we're now going to pick up 5 15-0s. So we're coming out to that last bicone, 4mm bicone, and we're going to pick up 5 15-0s, and we're just going to come around this bicone and into that first, well, the last 3mm round bead I added, like so. And then we're just going to pick up 5 15-0s, and we're just going to go into the next 3mm round bead along. So we're putting these 5 15-0s above the 4mm bicones, and they'll probably come to little points like that. So just complete that all the way along, adding in 5 15-0s. If they don't sit with their little points popping out, don't worry, because later on we're going to go back through all these beads, so we will be you'll be able to tighten that row, which will let's put some more 15s here, which will give you a bit more structure to them. So 4, there we go, 5. Okay, so I'm about to put my last one on. Now, as the way we started there, we came out of the bicone and came round it to the 3mm pearl, I'm going to pick up my 5 15-0s and then go into this bicone the same way we came out of the other one. So just like that. Weave around your beads, because now we want to be coming out of this top 15-0. As you can see, we've got 3 little arches of 15-0s here. We're going to use the middle one to add our little pearl embellishment, where we're going to add our what's it called, connector bead. That's it, wouldn't come to me then. Connector bead and our ear wire. So we're just going to go back through the beads, just following the thread path. Might be a little bit tight, so just be really careful through here. And then I'm going to work my way through my delicas. As they're being size 11, they're often a little bit more spacing than the 15s. And working my way through. Just take your time, no rush whatsoever. Oh, that one's come through to the back, so pull him back forward to the front. There we go. Make sure your thread doesn't catch around any of your little arky beads, and then go up into the middle one. Okay, so just put my well, as you can see on this one, I have used the bar, but today we're going to use our little half moon, which is very, very pretty. So if you've already got a pair of the earrings, you could also make, because there was only one of these in the box, you could also make a little pendant to match, maybe add some drops off the bottom. That would be really sweet. So coming out to that middle one, we're going to pick up 2 round beads. We're going to go through the little loop on the bottom of your connector. I'd say always check your connector just in case the loop is open. When I was making one before, it did just fall off, so it had to be reconnected. But yeah, if you just check that and make sure that's all okay, pick up 2 more round beads and go back into the 15 you're coming out of, forwards, and pull them tight. Make sure that your little connector loop is sitting nice and tight and snug between them beads. You don't want it sitting up with the thread like hanging sort of thing. Go into the first 3mm pearl like that. So just again, because he does tend to come loose, there you can see it's already started to come loose. As you go through it a couple of times, as we're going to do, it will tighten, but you need to make sure that you've got it already sectioned between these two. Right, we're going to pick up 115 and go through the next pearl and through the loop on the component. A little bit trapped. There you go. Oh, stop it. There we go. Go into the next pearl. Again, making sure that component's sitting nice and tight. Give a little tug on the thread if you need to. Pick up 115 and go into the next pearl and then back into the 15 that you started from when we started putting these little guys on. Okay, there we go. So we've got 2 little 15s there, the component there, and obviously this little 15 at the bottom, so that completes the look. We're now going to go back up the pearl and through the 15-0, through the next pearl and the component and the 15-0, because we want to be coming out of that 15-0 on this side. Just like that. There we go. Sometimes when you're pushing him, you'll feel that your beads may start to move. Right, okay. So from this side, we're going to pick up. So what we're I should show you what we're doing now is we're just going to do these little joins on either side and reinforce this bottom piece. So pick up 115-0, 1 delicate, 1 3mm bicone, 1 delicate and 115-0, and go into that first bicone that you come to on this side, just like that. We're now going to pick up 1 delicate and go through the first 15 of the 5 15s, and then we're going to go through all these little mates after him. So weaving your way through all them little 15-0s, and now we're just going to weave our way through the 3mm and the 15-0s all the way around till we get, so we're coming out of the last 15-0 on this side. Come on, almost there. Okay, and I'm coming out of that last 15-0 on this side. Just pop him down. There we go. So the reason we're adding this delicate on either side is because we came around the bicone with the 15s, so that leaves a little tiny gap. So we're just filling in that gap with a pretty little delicate. So pop him through the bicone like so. He matches the other side, and now we're just going to add this little selection of beads.
I don't have an answer for that.
Alexa just thought she'd join in with my tutorial.
I don't know that one.
Apparently she doesn't know that one. That's fine. Right, so there we go. There's the 5 beads on my, oh, I'm just gonna take that one off actually, because that one there is a little bit thinner on one side. So I'm gonna pick another one up and just pop them back on. So as you can see, I've got my size 15, my delicate, my 3mm bicone, my delicate, and my size 15. And we're just gonna go into the 15 on the other side of the little pearl join from earlier. Just pulling that through. And then we're going to go through all these beads again. Through your pearl and then your components. It's really good to actually start, like to go through this several times, because you want your thread to be quite tight there, as that's what's going to hold up the whole earring. So you kind of want that to have a nice security to it. And that is pretty much our earring finished, or pendant, or whichever way you want to wear it. Okay, there we go. So I'm through to the other side now. Now I'm just going to add in a couple of half hitch knots to secure my work. And we're doing this. You may be already familiar with half hitch knots, but if not, just quickly show you how I do them. So I'm just coming through my beads. Oh, not on there. I'm going to go under the thread between 2 beads, pull my needle through. That makes this little loop. It's really hard to see, I guess, on the cream mat, but when using white thread, but it makes a little loop. Take your needle through the loop and then just pull it tight. Do it quite slowly, because you don't want the thread then to jump over onto between them beads, as you'll see the thread over your beads. Pull that tight and then take it through a couple more beads just to move away from the knot. You can choose to do as many half hitch knots as you would like to. And there we have it. That is, let's bring them down, our fanfare earrings. So let's just grab these ones and have another little look at them. There we go. I love this design. It just looks so elegant, and I think you could wear it pretty much any time. It's elegant, but still you could wear it just for the daily out and wander in the shops, go into the pub, out for dinner, and anything a bit fancier. A little bit of a fancy night out. If you've got a special occasion coming up, they would look gorgeous. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please subscribe to my channel. I would love that. There's going to be new content arriving, hopefully weekly. This is my first video, so I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, drop us a little like on the little like button, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.